Hi everyone, Christian Young here, the UAP candidate for Dawson. It's Thursday, 3rd of February in the year 2022. I've been getting a lot of questions about how the UAP will do preferences. We had some at our members event just recently. We see some stuff out on the media as well. So I've put this video together to hopefully explain what I understand it to be as of today to help our members and maybe further afield as well. I had to actually do a fair bit of research to understand the whole process. So hopefully this fills in some gaps for you. So in terms of the House of Representatives, so I guess we're going to talk about the House of Representatives and talk about the Senate. So when you go to vote in the House of Representatives, you'll get a green, I guess it's a green sheet of paper similar to the one you see here to the right-hand side. And what you need to do as the voter is write in the number 1 beside your first preference, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. So you have to put in all the numbers for as many boxes as there are, 1 being your first preference and 8 being your last preference. So this is where we see a lot of the media campaign being vote Labor, Liberal or Greens last. That is what we're saying though. So they would be 8, 7 and 6 or something like that. And up to you to choose. Some of the commentary we're getting is choose the incumbent sitting member and have them as the 8th, or their party or them as the last preference. So when you look at that, the voter has absolute control on where the preferences go. It might be another video about the preferential system. So if your first preference doesn't get in, or the party doesn't make it to the tally and is one of the majority, then your second vote will go towards the count for that particular party, as I understand it. So the key point here, when you look at this list, the voter chooses where their preferences go. There's nothing about the party can do anything about that. The voter has absolute control. So that's the House of Representatives. In the Senate, so that title should be Senate in the top left, gets a little bit more confusing. I'll try and explain this as I understand it. So there's 2 ways of voting in the Senate. So if you see on the left-hand side here, you can vote above the line, and that's where the parties are listed, the party names are listed. And in order for your vote to count above the line, you have to have at least 6 votes. And number 1 beside the party, your highest preference, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Now, if you vote for your first preference party, then all of the senators for that particular party will all be in the first 6 votes. So for example, I can't remember how many senators there are in Queensland. Let's say there's 6 or 6. If you vote 1 above the line beside UAP, then all of those 6 senators will be voted in order of preference, and within the party they might say, well, you'll be number 1, number 2, etc. So that'll automatically happen in the background. Then for the second party that you vote in, the same thing happens again. I'm a little bit unclear if it's in total 12 votes or 12 picks overall. But anyway, it's parties above the line. You can also choose, and you can see here on the right hand side, to go below the line. So below the line is not where parties are listed, that's where individual names are listed representing the different parties. And below the line, in order for your vote to count, it must be at least 12 choices. So, and again, you go number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 12. It looks like you can go beyond 12, but it has to be a minimum of 12. So similarly here again, the voter has full choice on all of their selections. So if you go above the line and choose your first 6, the party can't control who you choose or anything like that. And if you go below the line and choose your 12, then same thing again. As I understand it, above the line, you can only go to 6. That's what will count, and that's what will get counted in the background. I don't think preferences kick in, after that, and same with below the line. But happy to get pointed out otherwise. So the UAP has announced that they will preference the Liberal Democrats. So what does that actually mean? And this is a bit I had to understand. So what's going to happen prior to the election, and I think the UAP, like all other parties would do that, is they will print out local to your electorate how to vote cards or how to vote flyers. So you will receive in the mail or you'll be handed to you an example of, let's see, the lower house, the green card there, where the names of the people in the electorate will be printed on this how to vote card. And in here, it will have, for example, myself, if it's a UAP card, will be number one, and there'll be a number one beside my name, Christian Young. And then number two will be whoever the candidate is for Liberal Democrats, if there is actually a Liberal Democrat nominee for the seat of Dawson. So this is how these preferences kick in. It's on the how to vote card that's sent out, and some people might use these how to vote cards, actually literally just walk in and vote, and whatever it says on the how to vote is what happens. So it's the how to vote cards, that's where the preferences are defined. It's not actually on the ballot paper itself. And similarly to the Senate voting, I'm going to assume that similarly again, you'll see that the Liberal Democrats will be second preference, and on the how to vote in the Senate, number two will be beside Liberal Democrats, number one will be beside the UAP. So a key point again, the preferences are only around the how to vote cards. They're not around inside the voting process or what you choose or where your vote goes to. So it's really just the marketing or advertising or suggested process. So who are the Liberal Democrats? I don't know too much. It looks like they only recently, I think it was 2001, they were founded. I just went to their website, which you can find yourself, and I've just taken a screenshot there of the principles they stand for and some of their policy statements underneath it. My quick review of looking at it, it looks like a lot of their principles that they stand for and things they want to see change are very similar to what the United Australia Party stands for. Again, encourage you to go and do your own research there. So this party looks to be a lot different to the Liberals, and as I understand it, I believe because of the name similarity, that actually the Liberal Democrats will be changing their party name prior to the election, which might be a good thing from a UAP perspective because the word Liberal may not even be in their party name, but I don't know. So that's who they are. You can go and find them on the website and follow them up, but it looks like there's good alignment in their policies and what they stand for and what they want to see happen for the country. What other preference deals will be made? So as of today that I am aware of, it's only to the Liberal Democrats, which is what we've just gone through previously. I also understand that there's probably stuff happening behind the scenes in terms of what other preferences will be made. So in theory, by the time we all receive the how to vote card, let's say if there's 8 parties, then in theory, probably a lot of let's say the first 4 has already been worked out, and the how to vote card for a UAP member or someone who wants to vote in alignment to UAP, they'll actually define, well, look, vote 1 UAP, 2 Liberal Democrats, 3 vote like this, 4 vote like this. So there'll be some deals to be made. And as I understand it, they'll be announced off in the future. So that's it. Hopefully that helps. If there's anything I've described here which is a little bit off, you've got a further clarifying question, or I'm incorrect in some way, then please let me know. Hopefully this is of value to you, and certainly we look to make more videos in the future. So thank you. Bye-bye.